Hi everyone. I wanted to give you a sneak peek inside Tracks of Reverie to learn a little bit about what's going on in the song, how we created it, and where it is today. So I'm going to share with you my Logic file. This is the file where we mixed and kind of got to the finish line for the song, so there's a lot going on. But I want to start with right where we started the song, which was June of last year, where I wrote the melody and lyrics and chords as part of a Song of the Week challenge. And that in itself, that week of writing kind of became a lot of what the base core of the song is, which sounds like this. We found our first apartment, a castle in the sky. You looked upon Chicago, a glimmer in your eye. So at one point I was recording vocals for Seasons, which came out at the middle to the end of last year. And while I was there, I actually recorded the guitar part and the vocals for this song in the middle of last year. So about a year ago. And then I put it away for a while. I was writing other songs for the Song of the Week challenge, getting ready for some music retreats, getting Seasons ready, which is a huge undertaking. And so this one kind of went to the back burner, and I pulled it back up probably February of this year and wanted to keep going with it. So I have the vocals and guitar, and I had to figure out where I wanted to go next. I contacted Devin Jesberger, who you'll hear playing piano all over my music. He's on a lot of the last, probably say 5 songs that I've released or more. And he sent me some really cool piano parts. There was actually quite a lot in here. He originally sent me all of these, and I'll play the song with everything. Not everything made it, so we'll see what it sounds like together. So a lot going on. I ended up taking out some of the pads and extra bits, the toy piano. I kept the Whirly just on the bridge, the Wurlitzer electric piano. But I, of course, kept the main piano line and the organ, which all together with the guitar sounds like this. And if you were to just listen, this is just the piano and organ. Great piano line. Devin did an awesome job. When you pair it with guitar, got the organ coming in. So all that came together just with vocals. And in the first verse, that's basically it, except for some string lines that are thrown in and guitar lines to color it. So after we kind of cut out some of the extra instruments and focused in on the organ and the piano, it meshed really well with the guitar. I really liked it with the vocals. Then I brought in Jacob Durbin, who is an incredible vocalist, is doing some very cool things on Instagram, so I really would check him out. And I said, Jacob, it'd really be cool to get some interesting vocal harmonies, which we threw in that looked just like this. So at the beginning, you'll hear it. It's pretty tucked in. You don't hear it very loud, but here's the vocal harmonies. You've got a little bit more up ahead. Very ominous. Very Billie Eilish energy. I really liked how this turned out. So when you combine everything together at the very beginning, you can kind of watch. You've got guitar, piano, and organ, and then you get a little bit of vocal harmonies, and you also get some strings, which we'll talk about in a second. Listen for the vocals. Found our first. Yeah, very cool intro. I talked with Avery Parkhurst, who is my go-to arranger and violin player, and he added some really basic violin parts on this track to give it texture and flavor. In the opposite tune of Seasons, we're really trying not to go overboard with how much we added. So at the beginning, you'll hear the strings sound like this. And then when you add vocals, you get this really nice sound together. Awesome. So you're going to hear glimmers of strings and harmonies kind of blending in. You're going to hear it a lot with the organ as well. All these textural sounds kind of exist together and create the feel that Tracks of Reverie gives. It's really critical to it. Lastly, we've got quite a few guitar lines. I take lessons from Dan Sire, and who is also very phenomenal, plays guitar for Charlie Berg. I really like his guitar playing, and while I'm taking lessons from him and probably could have played guitar on this myself for the electric, he's just so good that it really made more sense for me to have him take the lead on playing guitar. So he has this beautiful line at the beginning. You'll hear it here. Very, very tasteful. So altogether, you've got a great opener. I wanted it to have a sparkle open, and you're going to hear this a lot in my music. I wanted a sparkle open, pull it back down, limit what's going on in the first verse. Very, very common. You'll hear that all over my music. So we pulled it back, vocals, guitar, piano, and a little bit, not even organ at the first verse at the beginning. And that's it. There's nothing else there. This is the first verse.
Our first apartment, a castle in the sky. You looked upon Chicago, a glimmer in your eye. In the basement of a ballroom at the...
Right there, as we get further in, you've got some really cool guitar parts that come in the background. All together.
There you said I love you more than you could ever know. I dreamed to meet this day, to meet the love of my life.
Walking into the second verse here, we have some strings that are going to start playing some long notes. We've got some harmonies quietly tucked in, kind of emulating some of the words coming up. And you're going to hear the piano do a really nice soft walking sound. And you kind of get that in the first verse of the song. And maybe it's worth talking about the song structure as a whole. Tracks of Reverie is a song about dreaming of love and what that could entail, realizing that's not always the case, and over time coming content with where you are and who you are. And so when it comes to the song shape, we try and create that feeling, this idea of reverie, this dreamlike state that we're all on in the tracks, hint on the name there. In the first verse, it's really quaint. It talks about meeting that first person, what it's like to start that relationship. And in the second verse, you start to settle into the relationship. It's about growing old together. One of the lines, we grew basil in the courtyard and picked grapes from the vine. The older we got, the sweeter the wine. Very cheesy, very cute. You're going to start to hear the song take shape of this feeling of aged love in the way that love can settle.
We lost track of time in the pages of our souls, gossiping together about the chapter to unfold. We grew basil in the courtyard and picked grapes from the vine.
Just the strings and vocals. It's lovely. It really does create that feel.
To meet the love of my life.
Solo from Avery Parkhurst. So we're walking into the bridge. This is a really exciting moment for me for the song because the bridge talks about the realization that this idea of finding love and growing old together doesn't just always happen, and that it's not always given to everyone, and it's given at different times. And this dreamlike state in the first two verses of what it's like to fall in love and grow old together is not the reality, and not for everyone. And the bridge is really hitting that reality. And the last verse out of the bridge is the resolve of recognizing that it's okay. And it's okay maybe to not be in love, but in reality, to be able to be content with where you are. So feel that tension in the bridge. You have the Wurlitzer coming in. You've got extra guitar lines coming in. You've got a little bit more tension. It's darker. This tunnel, this dark track. This is the bridge.
The tracks run colder than they used to.
Heavy.
The train keeps passing by. I'm told to keep your head up for the moment that love finds you.
Resolve. So to talk about that change there, you really come to this climactic moment of the song. It's really big. You've got kind of everything important hitting right where it needs to be. If I were to mute the vocals right here, so you just hear the rest of the band, we're all together here. Let it ring for a long time there. It's really, it's a beautiful way to resolve it. So going into the last verse, we come back and we have the full band, and then right as we enter the verse, the guitar for the first time, the acoustic guitar stops and it passes it over to the piano. It's just piano, organ, vocals at this point, and it's a little bit lonely, but it's not sad, and that's really intentional. It's about the character learning that while it is sometimes hard to not be in love, that there's room to learn how to be okay with who you are. And you're going to feel that from the emotion of the song. Let's listen to it.
I came from the dark and still find myself alone. I'm searching for some meaning in this tunnel I call home. Some may not hold the partners that they seek to adore. We'll learn to be okay with ourselves a little more. I dream to meet this day, to be content with my life.
So we get into the ending there. Wow, what a lovely build, right? It's so intentional, this feeling of stripping it away for a second. We just have this beautiful piano organ combo here. And I was thinking about just doing piano, which is good, but for some reason this feeling of the organ behind it is really nice. And what we're going to do here is to start building tension, we stack in keys and guitars as we go further. If we were to just listen to those string lines, I mean, Avery knocked them out of the park. They're so good. Listen to this lovely feeling. It's really sweet. We're lonely and content, and we're really leaning into the love in it. so soft and delicate. The last line, you've got in each of the three verses. First verse, I dream to meet this day. I dream to meet this day, to meet the love of my life. And it repeats in the second verse, but in the third verse, we switch it. I dream to meet this day, to be content with my life. And you hit that moment, and we outro here into vocal harmonies, into a little bit of strings, into some guitar solo, but really soft and thoughtful. Let's listen to the outro.
Dream to meet this day, to be content with my life.
And we wrap into fading out. I really like the way this song went. I think it's really cute. I think it's sweet. I when I think about the creation of it, I know just in my writing and who I am, this isn't necessarily the most unique song of the songs I've written. There's a lot of overlap in feel and vibe and pattern between this and other songs, but I really feel passionate about the model of the writing. I think that it emotes something really meaningful, and I personally, as a musician, sometimes struggle with overdoing it. Look at any of my last orchestral tracks. They're huge and overwhelming and somewhat unnecessary, and I like that, and it's fun, but I really tried to rein that in a little bit here and to be a little bit more delicate and thoughtful behind the structure and pattern of the song. And so I hope you like it. It comes out Friday, June 23rd, depending on when you're watching this. That could be literally tomorrow. But I hope you listen. I hope you like it. If you are interested in learning more about the track, how it's made, or have any questions about the writing process and the creation process, I would really encourage you to reach out. I obviously had a very strong hand in putting this together. I mixed it myself this time too, which is the first song I've personally mixed of the songs I've released. And if you're interested in working with any of the musicians on this track, there are so many fantastic, talented people. I'm going to tag them in the comments below or in the information. So I encourage you to reach out to them and say, good job, I loved what you did here. Show them some love, hire them for your projects too, because there's some really great people on here who deserve credit and help make this come to life. I hope you guys listen. That's Tracks of Reverie. Good luck.